don't know why I saw this, but I saw a costume titled Anonymous Poet, and it was just like a silver mask and a black tee.
Let's start with that then. What you want to be an anonymous poet? You want to be like
I thought that would be
Sia?
kind of weird. Like, I think the anonymous thing freaks people out.
It does. I think when you can't see a person's eyes, it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah, that's why wearing sunglasses is like a thing where you can't see someone's emotions. Like in poker, it makes people really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So like being an anonymous poet, poetry is all about emotion. So it's like if you're an anonymous poet and you can't show your emotion through your eyes, you might as well be expressive with your hands, or you got to find some other way to emote.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
What, the costume, or be a real life anonymous poet?
The costume. I mean, but you have to like wear a costume to be anonymous, right?
I was like, why is that a costume?
What was Justin LeBoy's thing at first where like, you know who Justin LeBoy is, right?
The meme guy?
The meme guy. And he was like, I'm going to put out relationship facts, but I'm not going to show my face at first. He got pretty big doing that, actually.
It makes sense, though, because like everybody says, which I at one time wanted to disagree, but everyone says people support someone they don't know more than they would support someone they do know. So when you're talking about social media or branding, people, you're more likely to target a larger group if you're less within a certain category. Like if they don't know who owns the company, because then there's less bias. You're
right. Because if you are a Hispanic or Black or any certain race, someone might look at it and be like, that's not for me.
Right. Or they might actually doubt the quality of it, unfortunately.
All right, you changed my mind. Okay, let's do the anonymous poetry. Lori's already like disarming the room. By the way, guys, this is live from Bravery Studios. I always like to start the interviews with just a random conversation in the beginning just to open people up. And she actually got me to change my mind on something. Yeah, wow. Shout out to the anonymous poets. That you guys are, it's a cool concept, actually. It's a cool concept. But Lori, I've known you a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it, 7th, 8th grade or something like that?
Yeah. I feel like it was like, was it 7th? Yeah, like
I
7th.
think it was. I
never know if it's like 6th or 7th, because I feel like we were like 12.
We were like 12, definitely.
And you
12.
were always very animated, and creative.
You told me I talked too much.
Yeah.
You did when we were little.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't like awkward silences.
You know what's funny is I was telling him yesterday, we were at dinner, and I was like, you can only imagine how hard it was for me to like go to school, because I get annoyed so easily.
You used to get annoyed very easily.
Yes. And it's bad that I'm like that.
Not anymore, though.
Yeah, now I catch myself, and I know it's a me thing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not a bad thing either, though. You just were like, you just told me you're like, you talk too much. And I was like, I just don't like awkward silences. I used to get nervous when the room was too quiet. Like, what are they thinking?
Right. Some people are not comfortable with silence.
I'm mondo uncomfortable when it's too quiet.
I'm uncomfortable when we can't be silent.
Deep. Elaborate.
Because like, I think true comfort is when you can sit next to someone silently and know that like everything's all good. Like,
that's deep. That's deep. And not have to be in your head thinking like, what is that other person thinking?
Yeah. Like, why do you need the validation of of words? Like sometimes when you don't speak, you allow yourself to kind of just chill out and like feel the vibes.
That's deep.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So I guess for me, that's how I think about it. But like some people really just can't do silence, you know? So I've had to get used to that.
I can't do silence. I really can't. Lori is a poet. And as we became adults, you're one of those people that I was so surprised about the route you took in life. Because I didn't see you back then doing, I guess you just don't picture people getting into creative spaces until you see it. And then you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah. I was
an introvert for sure.
You were?
I was, even though I had a lot of friends. Like I had a lot of friends.
You were the it girl. You were popular.
Yeah, right. Which was ironic to me, but maybe it was because I was just myself. I wasn't trying to be anyone else, and people like that. They felt comfortable around me and stuff.
I think so.
But the whole poetry and like writing thing, I could never share it. Like no one knew. Like I was writing poems since like 5th grade. But no one ever knew that I wrote a poem or anything like that, probably until high school.
I didn't know until adult life.
Yeah.
I didn't know until we became adults.
Yeah.
And I saw you kicking ass out there.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw you at the studio. I saw you with at the studio with the when we were in the island in Patterson.
Yeah, I was singing a hook for Causey.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing that day.
Yeah.
It was a Sade cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was bugged out. I was like, no way. She's into the arts and stuff like that.
Oh, I
had
was
no
like so
idea.
into it. Me and my brother, when I was in 8th grade, we used to write. Like, we'd break night and we'd just write bars all night. And he would spit his bars, I would spit mine. And, like, we were super
Adorable.
competitive with each other. Like, I wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to show him, like, I'm just as cool as you. Like, just because I'm younger doesn't mean I'm not as cool. So I'd be, like, really thinking, like, what can I write that's going to really, like, impress him? Like, what can I write that's, like, on the same level as what he writes? Because my brother was also very creative.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that my grandfather also was a poet. So it became full circle for me. Like, once I started really doing it more, and then, like, my family found out I was doing it. Like, my mom, she's like, you know, your grandfather was a poet too. Like, he was an English teacher. Like, that's what he loved, was
That's
words.
dope. Genetic.
So she used to write poems. My aunt used to write poems. So I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's genetic. It's totally genetic. And I've seen you in very passionate forms. Like I've seen you like spill your heart out on stages in front of people. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Thank you. I think that the reason I do it, I was thinking, like, why do I share it, right? Because it is so personal. And for people who are creative that share their talent, you have different reactions from different people in your life, right? So I'm like, what is the driver that makes me, that, like, what's the reason that I ever decided, let me go on stage? And it was because someone said to me, like, Lori, you need to share that because I think it'll help someone.
Who was it? Who told you that?
It was one of my, like, middle to high school friends. And I was like, oh, listen to this poem. Like, I wrote this or whatever. I feel like it's hard. Like, I don't know what to do with it, though. Like, should I put it on Instagram? Like, I'm like, should I just, like, put it on Instagram or what should I do or whatever? He's like, this is so good. Like, you should share it. Like, share it at a poetry show, like, whatever. I'm like, no, poetry show? No way. Like, me on stage? Nah. And then I just kept thinking about it, and I'm like, one day, his sister was having, like, a poetry show or open mic, whatever. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then people started hitting me up on Instagram, like, your words were so helpful. Like, I loved your poem. Like, I checked your other stuff out. Because at that point, I was, like, sharing stuff that I had written. And I was like, I'm glad to help someone, you know?
You never know.
And I think poetry isn't for everyone. Some people are very uncomfortable with emotions.
I agree. But poetry is almost everything, though. So it's really about how they digest it, right? Because when you listen to music, it's poetry on a rhythm, on a beat.
Right.
So it's, and even like seeing a movie, like the way they choreograph some things, it's like poetic. So it's about how they digest it.
Yeah.
It's like not liking Spanish food, you know?
Yeah, like, well, our music in society now, the music that's the most popular, it doesn't have much context to it. It's kind of like desensitized, egoistic music. Like, it makes you feel cool when you hear it. Like, oh, like, it's always like, I don't know. You know, we all listen to it.
I know exactly what you mean.
So it makes you feel cool. It makes you feel, like, confident. It makes you feel... But poetry doesn't always make you feel cool. Sometimes it makes you feel seen. It makes you feel hurt. It reminds you of something that maybe you never had the courage to talk about to anyone, but you see someone on stage just going off about the topic.
You're bugging me out.
It could be very cringe for people.
You're making me think of old memories. Like, what wouldn't I want to talk about? Like, I'm getting scared now, guys.
Yeah, so I think, like, people who are into poetry, it's more like because they want to feel something, they want to understand humanity, they want to know, like, how others feel or what others are going through.
Yeah.
Those types of things. you know.
But yeah, so tell me about the first time you went on stage then. Tell me about taking that risk or that
I was so nervous.
Where was it first off?
It was in New York City, and there was like probably 100 people, maybe more than that in the room. It was like a little bit larger than this space you have here, and it was packed from the back to the front. Like people were crowded, like just on top of each other. And like 10 of my friends were there. So they're like, you got this, don't be nervous. Like, I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm not nervous, whatever. And I get on the microphone and it's messed up, but everybody was just like, they couldn't fix it. So that was the condition of the mic. It was like, it had like a double play, like an echo.
It might have been for the best.
So I'm like, damn, now I could hear myself. I'm thinking about my next line as I'm saying the line and I'm hearing it later. I'm like, fuck, I can't mess this up. Yeah. So I don't know how I didn't mess it up, but I didn't. And it was great for me. Like I've made a lot of friends that are creative since then. I've like had a lot of creative collaborations with people. And just had a lot of great experiences too, like with just going to other places because I've met other people that are creative that are like, oh, this is going on or that's going on. They're learning. Like I've learned a lot from my poet friends because they're not afraid to talk and share things on their like social media. You know, they speak their mind and you realize like you might learn something from someone when you're not afraid to speak your mind.
Amen.
You know, you learn how they navigate through life. You learn like what perspectives help them and which ones hurt them. And like, it gives you kind of something to contrast with, right? Like you can kind of find role models within your friend circle if you really pay attention, if you're around the right people. And I felt like poetry did that for me. It put me around the right people.
Did you find role models? You found people?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I found people that were inspiring, that were insightful, that maybe taught me things that I didn't know, or like read this book, you know, or things like that. And I think that's dope, you know, because I grew up in the same town as you, Patterson, and most of us were just trying to figure out like how we were going to exist in a world, right, that wasn't the easiest to exist in. Coming up in that city. So it's very cool to find yourself go from like an environment where you feel like it's very negative to then be around like good people that make you feel good, make you feel like there's more to life than just crime or jail or like death or like depression or violence, you know?
Yeah, the way you're putting these words together, I feel like you're doing poetry right now. Yeah. Patterson can be a tough town, but also Patterson is an artsy city. It's got its history and it's like buried beneath the graffiti and the crime and everything. But all that stuff is also poetic too, right? Because like you're a rose that came from concrete is what Tupac said, right?
Yeah.
So like it's kind of beautiful to be beautiful in a dark place.
Yeah, it's also cool because you can see that. Like I went to middle school in West Patterson, right?
I remember.
Felt like it was so different. Right?
Yeah.
They're like so much better than Patterson. Like they used to be like, "You're from Patterson? What? You know, you can't hang out with that girl. She's from Patterson. You're gonna get in trouble." You know, or like parents would tell their kids, like, "If I ever find out that you crossed that what is that, Glover Road, and went over to Patterson, it's over. Like, you're kicked out or like it's over. You're punished forever." And I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I was like, why am I so bad? Like, what's so shameful about where I come from, you know? And now I'm in this other town and it's like, everyone's like, anyone that was Spanish was ghetto. Anyone that wasn't like, didn't own a house there was like an outcast or whatever.
They renamed the town.
Oh, that
because
Patterson
they were
is
shared. They were ashamed of Patterson.
Yeah,
so West Patterson renamed the whole town to not be associated with Patterson.
Oh, because I wanted to say, like, you're right. Like, there is a lot of good that comes from our city because we still have heart. We still have care for one another. No one's like, this is so played out. Like, who cares that you're struggling? Like, you find people that will help one another. So there's good things in it. And of course, anything that's challenging gives you context, and it makes like the outside world easier, right? Like, if you can make it somewhere where it's really hard, you can certainly make it in other places.
Bingo. But talk to me about when you started your podcast, because that's when we really met up again as adults.
Yeah.
What I don't know if I ever even asked you back then. What made you want to start a podcast?
Oh, Chelsea Handler.
I'm not familiar with Chelsea Handler. Who's that?
Chelsea Handler, she's like a comedian.
Oh, I think
she used to have a special on
Chelsea Lately?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Chelsea Lately. Yeah, that show made me want to have my own show one day.
She's not a poet.
No, but she's funny. She's funny, and she would cover news, but she would have like funny jokes about it.
Got you.
And I was like, I want to do that. But by the time I started a talk show, it was more about poetry and mental health.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was no...
There was no comedy. There was a little bit of comedy.
Yeah, like, some of the guests were funny.
Yeah, they were funny. They made it funny. It wasn't
sometimes,
me.
yeah.
I was so serious in my...
You had some rough guests, too. I was like, I don't know if that went well. I was like, I should tell you after the show.
Yeah, there was a super rough one, and at that time, I didn't know how bad it was. It was a Herbalife coach, and no disrespect to Herbalife people or whatever. But I didn't realize that I didn't realize what I was doing. I thought this was a person that genuinely cared about mental health and about like...
it was just his spiel.
But it was just a spiel for sales. Yeah. So because the interview, the way I catered it was for mental health, I wasn't giving him the opportunity to talk about nutrition and stuff like that.
He was there for a sale.
Yeah, so it was bad. I never aired it. Yeah, and it was fine with me. It was like a lesson.
Not everyone is genuine. Not everyone is genuine.
Right.
But you had some awesome interviews too.
Thank you.
You had some really awesome. The kid from Gelatis.
Yeah, my girl.
He was dope.
Yeah, he's still dope.
Yeah.
He's got another ice cream shop now. I don't know if they have 3 ice cream shops now, I think. One in Caldwell. It's called Gelati by Mike now. It's not Gelatis anymore.
Oh, even the one in Toto is not called that anymore?
That one is still called that. Because I think the original owners still own it.
Gotcha.
But he kind of branched off and did his own thing. And that's awesome.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's the one that got me in tune with the Mayor Patterson.
His wife makes beautiful cakes, by the way, like ice cream cakes. Because I know there's a lot of ice cream cake lovers that want an ice cream cake for their birthday. And you're always like, okay, well, you go to Carvel, and you get them like that plain ass cake. You open the
fridge.
Yeah. You get them that plain round cake, but they make specialty ice cream cakes.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, he was dope. So, Yulissa, how's Yulissa doing?
She's great. She's all the time interviewing different artists. She's interviewed like so many big artists. Huge. Like, she's really doing her thing. She's really meant for that.
She's coming to an interview here in a couple of weeks.
She is.
One of my podcasts told me, she said she's been here before. And then they said the name. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so she'll be here in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's huge now. She's P&B Rock. She got an interview from him, before he passed away, or rest in peace.
Yeah, she really brings out the best in people, too, when she interviews them.
Yeah.
Which is what I think makes her a great journalist, a great broadcast journalist.
Agreed. And you did a great job too doing it, like just interviewing people for that being your first time.
Yeah, thank you. I would prepare.
Yeah. I
would kind of like sit and think like, what can I ask this person? What do I know about them? What do I not know? What can I bring up that really displays their humanity, like their existence, their journey, stuff like that. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool to get to know people like on camera. And I know a lot of people like love podcasts. They love dialogue. They love hearing like about other people's minds and point of view.
Bingo. Yeah.
But that's what makes it so interesting to me. I would probably still do it again one day.
You were good at it.
Thank you.
And you definitely had a great network of people that you've brought to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, people that definitely stayed in my mind. Like, wow, that was a great guest.
Yeah, there's like 30 more people on my list of people that I wanted to interview. So
you have been contemplating it.
Huh?
You have been contemplating podcasting again.
Oh, when I started that podcast, I made a list. I said, who are all the people I want to interview? And I put just like from like people that I know to people I don't know to like big names. It was just like, who would I want, right? Because I think it's important to visualize, like to know what you want out of something when you're going into it and to think big. You know, like I've always been told when you want to do something, you have to picture that you're going to do it great.
You aimed high. Let's just put it that way to keep it simple. You aimed high.
Yeah, I had like a 9 episode run, maybe 7, 8.
But what's 9 episodes? That's 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So no, you did great.
It was. You know what I realized was that I'm only one person.
Bingo.
And I'm a creative person, but I'm not a very organized business person in the sense that I'm not salesy. And so my motivator is more like expression and creativity. So what makes a successful podcast, right? Marketing, because you need to access people. You need to make sure that people who don't know you can access your show. And how do you do that? With understanding marketing, you know, which is the most boring thing to me. Like I tried to take a marketing class in high school and I used to just fall asleep.
Whack.
Well,
you missed one part of a successful podcast. Does it make you happy doing it?
Right.
I think that's bigger. That's even bigger.
I'm happy doing so many things. Like I like to just be creative however I feel. Like whether it's podcasts, art, making bracelets, you know. It's something about the freedom of not being completely tied to one thing that I think I really enjoy, if we're being honest here.
Doing whatever you want.
It's not to say it's ideal. It's just me.
Yeah, no, but that's cool. They call that being left brained, right? Even though I heard the left brain thing is actually a lie, that you actually use your full brain in everything you do. But, you know, there's people who are analytical, like, yeah, I gotta dot the I's and cross the T's and all that jazz, right? And then there's people who's like, I'm gonna not put a dot on the top of my I. I'm just gonna, just because it like just makes it different than every time I see somebody write the letter I, right? And there's people who put like a circle on the top of their eyes. There's no point of putting a circle on top of your eye, but it's like, I don't know, it gives it like a little.
Oh, like the circle, like
yeah, a little bubble on top of the eye,
or a little heart.
And that's how you know when somebody's like different. Like you look at their handwriting and you're like, you gain nothing from doing that, but you just.
It was like a creative expression.
Yeah, it's expressing yourself, like, and for what? Like your teacher's gonna see it and be like, oh, this guy's cool,
right?
But it just makes you happy. Like I just think it's cool to write like that.
It is the little things.
It's the little things. Happy. Bingo. So yeah, I think you should always team up with somebody who's the strengths to your weaknesses. So maybe you just needed a nice little like what's it called, a sidekick or a partner with you to kind of help you out on the things that you struggled with.
I considered that as well, and let's get into the Lori Love Show, right? My goal from that was that I would bring enough people together that cared about mental health so that I could start a nonprofit organization. I don't know why I thought that was the way that this was going to work out, but a nonprofit organization that is genuine, that will truly help people, and that will be long lasting, requires a board of directors. It requires people with degrees. Like it requires a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, but I want to do something like right now. Like I don't want to wait to meet people that care about the same thing as me. So I'm like, why don't I just work for a nonprofit organization instead? So then that became like my goal, was to like, I just kept saying, if I keep doing poetry and I keep talking about mental health, I'll end up, someone will see me. Like someone in that crowd will work for a nonprofit. They will see me and they will be like, we need this girl at our nonprofit. Like we need this conversation. We need this kind of like, these kind of words.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it happened. It happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was almost thinking that you were thinking that wasn't going to work.
It actually ended up happening.
Amen.
I need to use that more, like the power of like visualizing.
Yeah.
I don't think that I do it enough, but when I do use it, it works.
Yeah.
You know?
You read the book The Secret?
I did.
Do you believe in it?
Yeah, I do. It was life-changing for me.
I
think I was so unaware of how negative I was before I read that book.
Yeah, right. That book actually is written by horrible people, but goddamn, does it not have some facts in there, bro? Like, goddamn.
Can you tell me something about these people? Because I don't.
Yeah, look it up. It's a trip.
It's a cult.
But it's just it goes to show that you can find like mentorship even from like negativity sometimes. Because that book I definitely believe. I wouldn't have this whole studio if it wasn't for the laws of attraction. But yeah, no, the Secret's dope, and I think that more people should read it or should just look up the laws of attraction.
I think it's like the starter kit.
Yeah, word.
The law of attraction is like, once you read that book, once you understand what the law of attraction is, even because it doesn't have to be that book. There are so many books about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
They just call it different things, right? But once you understand what that is, there's still a work that you have to do, like an inner work within you that will change the way you view life. Because I had to work through my negative programming to get to a state of like, no, I can be successful. I do deserve good things. Like, I had to work through some things. So everybody doesn't have that challenge. Some people are like very well nurtured growing up and they have that self-worth and that sense of like I belong or I should be here, and some people don't. And so that can affect how far you go in life. You know, and it also serves as, when you understand that, it serves as a starting point because you know how hard you have to work. Bingo. To get where the next person can kind of just get there.
Yeah.
And for them, it's hard too, in their own unique way. It's challenging to be disciplined, to be committed. But you know, like, I have to work like 3 times as hard as that person because I'm starting from this point. And I think that book kind of did that for me. Like, it helped me kind of realize that everybody has certain negativity built into them that the world gave to them, right? Like, you're not born negative. You're not born, you're not born to just think that things are going to go wrong and not go your way. That's like something that is a learned trait.
Nurtured, yeah, definitely. I agree. So can we talk about why you ended the podcast? I don't
remember.
I think
right now. I don't remember right now. Was that when I had the car accident and I
or when you took a pause from creativity for a little while?
I think when I paused, when I stopped doing the podcast, I think I had just I was doing the podcast and I was working like wild hours as a waitress. What I would do is I would work 4 days, but out of those 4 days, I would have 2 12-hour days. And then I would have 3 days off. And on those 3 days off, I would do like poetry in the city. I would do the podcast. And then the other day I would do like all like my home duties or whatever. One day I left a double shift. I decided I was going to go hang out with my coworkers. I had like probably like 2 or 3 drinks. I did also eat. But I was tired. I was just so tired. And I fell asleep while I was driving home and I totaled my car. So I had a concussion from that accident and I was prescribed silence. Like, pretty much was like, you can't be around loud noise. You can't be around loud music. Like, you can't be, like, you need to be like in silence. You need to rest your brain. And I had the worst migraines. Like, my head felt like it wanted to explode. I started like crying and like out of nowhere. Like, there was just weird things going on to me, which was from the concussion, like the trauma to my brain. So I had forgot things. Like I had forgot like numbers, like birthdays, passcodes, like random things. So I was like, whoa, I cannot go on like this. Like I can't live like this. How can I like speed up the healing process of the concussion? And that became my focus, to be honest, for like 2 years. All I was doing was taking care of nurturing myself so that my mental health could go back to normal. Because the concussion was just so... I had like a lump on my head for a little less than a year. Like I could feel it every time.
Wow.
So at that point, I don't think I ever even explained to you why I stopped the podcast. I think I just stopped.
This is the first I'm hearing all of this.
Yeah, I just stopped. I didn't explain anything to anyone. Yeah. I kind of just posted on the internet that I had this accident, and then I just like disappeared from the world because no one like. I was like on my own doing all of this, like having to work and not feeling well. And I was like, I can't keep up with nothing besides myself right now. And that has to be okay because it's like a silent thing. Like when someone has a concussion, they can say they're fine 2 days later, like, yeah, I'm fine. But the impact that you get, the way that your brain, depending on where you hit it, like if you hit it in the front, like I did, I didn't even know this. But if you hit it in the front, it causes a lot of mental like problems. Like your cognitive function doesn't work as well, your memory, you're like overly emotional. So who wants to live like that? Like no one wants to live like that where like, you know, you're just crying out of nowhere. You're like, what? Why am I crying? You know what I mean? So I took vitamins. I started learning about brain health. I started eating super like healthy, cooking all my meals. Like I did that. And it was very helpful, to be honest. Like at first, like probably like 6 or 8 months down the line after the concussion, I was afraid. Like I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to be myself again. Like I couldn't even formulate sentences the right way. I had like less vocabulary than ever. Yeah, it was like I had like a speech impediment all of a sudden. Like, so I took vitamins and herbs, a lot of herbs, all kinds of supplements. And I started seeing results long after, like maybe on the 3rd year, I started finally feeling like myself, which would be like 2 years from now. Like 2 years ago, I started finally feeling like myself again. And I'm grateful that I went through that because I learned a lot about humans.
Yeah. I'm sorry as you went through that, though. That was rough.
No, thanks. Yeah.
That's rough.
But there's a lot of people that have had head trauma in their life, even as children. And they never got attention for it. Like, people grow up, you know, and maybe they're not, their parents are like, well, I did everything right. Why is Timmy like this? And Timmy had a bad head injury when he was playing sports in school, but he said he was fine because he didn't know any better yet. He had learning disabilities or attention problems in class. And, you know, then he got labeled as like a bad kid because people are just not aware of mental health, of how to even recognize when someone that you love is going through something. They're mostly just judgmental and kind of just want you to fit their status quo. Like they want you to operate the way that they feel that you should, versus holding space for like what may have happened to this person. Because we only see physical injury. We don't see mental injury in society. I think we're striving for that, but we're not fully there yet.
Yeah. That was a lot. I didn't know even what to say while you were saying that, because that was a lot. And, you know, I'm happy that you have come back out like the show. And you're the same person I remember from podcasting. So, no, you're doing great.
Thank you, yeah.
But, damn.
Things happen. And, like, sometimes things happen to people who have a voice, like people who are, like there's so many artists, so many creative people, so many people who are writers or someone like you, like we have a story and we experience and we witness more because we're meant to be that person that like helps those who don't really use their voice to feel seen, to feel acknowledged, that they're not having a singular experience. Like we're all kind of navigating through these unexpected experiences together. As much as it feels like you're so alone when you're going through things, you know, if you find people who are open and honest about their struggles, it's not like a sadness party, but it's like, no, I feel you. I can hold space for you. I can sit next to you when you're sad and like not be like, forget this person forever. Like I can actually know that you're going to be okay eventually, even if you don't see it right now, you know. So those experiences shape that, and they allow us to be a better creative voice, because then songs are made with more meaning, or commercials or movies or podcasts.
You're dropping flex bombs right now.
You know, things have more meaning that way with experience.
Yeah.
So I don't regret anything I've experienced. I know it's something that's happening like for me and not against me, even though it can feel that way at times.
It's made you stronger.
Yeah,
Look how positively you speak on these things and how vulnerable you have been. Thank you for like, I know that people are going to watch this and be like, I felt that.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what are the techniques you're using now, like to kind of like, to cope with your mental health?
Meditation was like the beginning thing for me.
Yeah.
It was like, how do you silence your mind? What does that look like and feel like? And like, it's something that is overly talked about now. So people hear meditation and they're like, I could never meditate, which I agree. Like I, at one point, could never meditate until I wanted to heal my brain. And like, I knew that if I wanted to feel physically well, I had to feel mentally well. And how could I feel that way if I have racing thoughts and like an uncontrolled state in my mind? So I learned how to meditate because I looked it up. I read articles, I read books, I watched videos, whatever I could do to understand like how to help clear my mind. And it starts with breathing, deep breaths. Like I probably should take a deep breath right now.
We all should.
Yeah.
You can take a deep breath, Anton.
And like,
I forget to do that sometimes.
by like the third one, you feel different. Like there's like a relief there.
That was dope. That was dope.
Yeah. So like the deep breaths, they're very helpful. And then that allows you to get into a meditative state, because you have to be able to control your breathing in order to control your emotional state. When you're nervous or you're frantic or worried or in pain, you're breathing a lot faster. You're breathing, your heart, you don't feel it, but your heart's beating faster. Your breaths are short and tight, and you're not expanding your chest and your lungs the way you should. And you don't know it because it's the state that you're in. It's like you've been that way your whole life. You don't even know that you're not breathing deep into your gut, into your stomach. That when you exhale, you're like releasing stress. But we only exhale like very softly.
I'm just thinking about my breathing so much right now. Like I've never thought so much about it.
Yeah. So, there's this city in India. The people there, they live till really long. And like, this sounds crazy and you guys can fact check it, but I don't have the names or whatever, but they live until really long, to like 113 years. Like, and it's just like, because they meditate a lot and they they take such deep breaths that their body, as it's aging, it doesn't feel agony. It feels at peace because they're breathing through their pain. And there's studies that show that you can breathe so deeply while focusing on the place that you have pain, and you can send a message to that area, like that I release that pain. I no longer feel pain there. And that the more you do it, the more you start feeling relief there. And I've tried it. I've tested it. When I did the meditation class at the nonprofit that I was working for in Patterson, they felt it, you know, they loved it. And when I say that, it's not because I'm like bragging about it. I didn't invent meditation. It's just sometimes we need someone to guide us through how to do it, or we're not even thinking about it. Who the hell is thinking about meditation and breathing deeper, like to improve the quality of their life? No one. Everyone's thinking like, I need more money. I need whatever they need. I need to make it. I need to prove to this person that I'm successful. I need to lose weight. I need to, you know, those are the things we think we need to feel peace or joy. But what we really need is to be one with ourselves and breathe.
Yo, you could help so many people. Like, you're blowing my mind right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
I needed to learn all this so I could help myself, you know? And I just happened to be a poet that liked to help others at the same time. So I learned all this and I incorporate it now with the poetry or what I'm doing. But meditation was very helpful, and it still continues to be helpful. And I'm not going to say that I don't forget sometimes, because like sometimes you want to do more in a day. You want to like pick up the pace a little bit, and you don't meditate. You don't slow down. You don't just stop for a second. But it's those times when you slow down that you can then go back into like your everyday routine with a clearer mind or like a fresh approach, because you allowed your brain to just not think for a second. It's almost like if you're using a car all day, like the engine is going to heat up and it's going to need a break, you know? So our brain or our mind, it needs a break too. I read this book called Flow. It's a study about happiness, and the scientist did like a study all around the world, and he like interviewed people, and he interviewed like the happiest people, and he's like, what makes you happy? Like, why do you think you're so happy, or when are you the happiest? And he called it optimal experience. And it's like when you're doing something that you love, or not even something that you love, but maybe something that you're so into it that you're not thinking about anything else. All you're thinking about is that, right? That's when people feel the most peace, the most happiness. And then he goes, okay, well, who were the happiest people? They were the ones that were doing things that they felt that they were like fully committed to, that they were in the moment in. Like while they're doing it, they're not thinking about, I need to do this after, or like I should have done this different. They're doing it and they feel confident about it, and they feel good while they're doing it. Those are the happiest people. So I'm like, what makes me happy? Like, what can I do more that incorporates like happiness, right? It's like, what makes me happy is eating my own cooked food. That makes me like really happy. It's like the smallest things make me happy, you know? Like if something can annoy me and I don't let it get me annoyed, that makes me happy. Yeah. Cause I'm like, haha.
I definitely feel like you could help a lot of people. Are you in a space right now where you're like teaching people what you've learned?
I'm not. No.
You gotta do this.
Yeah.
Because even me just talking to you, even you just speaking to me about it, especially in your calming voice, I'm like, yo, meditation sounds dope. I gotta try that.
It's dope. Like we can do it here now. We can do a very short one. Yeah.
Yo, let's try. Everybody, you guys down for it too? Mm-hmm. Can we all do it as a group? Yeah, Mach is like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, he came to a class.
He came to a yoga class?
Okay, so funny story.
Yeah.
Funny story before the meditation.
Yeah.
So I Shout out to Jump Out Low.
Jump Out. That's my dude.
He had a Healing Fest, like, album release party.
Yeah.
I randomly was like, Joe, yo, you having a Healing Fest? Like, do you mind if I could do, like, a little meditation, like, guided meditation thing at it? I think it would be great. Like, sure. So I did it. And that's when I got the opportunity to do the healing, the guided meditation, and the breathing exercises at the nonprofit. But the director, he wanted me to do yoga as well. And I'm like, I'm not a yoga instructor. Like, I don't have a certificate. I don't have, like, a license. Like, I can't teach yoga. He's like, it's okay. Like, but you know yoga, right? I'm like, yeah, I know yoga. He's like, all right. So he's like, you don't need, like, a license for that. Like, you know. So I looked it up. Like, you don't actually need anything. Like, you can, like,
I would imagine you don't need it since everyone I know is teaching it.
Yeah, you don't. It gives you more, like, if you have a certificate and you have, like, whatever, and depending from where it's from, it gives you more, like, credentials. Like, it gives you more credibility.
It's like a barbershop.
And it raises your value, of course, right?
I've never got my hair cut by somebody that went to school for giving haircuts.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been. I mean, I ain't got hair now, but but it worked out all through high school. So I think it's kind of like that with yoga too, right?
Yeah. So, anyone can do it, I guess. So he said, if anyone can do it, you can. And I was like, you're right, I can. So I bought a little book.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've been to yoga classes, but I never instructed it. So I'm like, I don't have the catchphrases, the names of the muscles, like, whatever. Yeah. Eventually I figured it out, and we had some great yoga and guided meditation sessions. It was great. He was there.
That's what's up.
So,
do you think you want to pursue that too?
Mosh City. He was there.
Mosh got to get an interview
and he's
too,
here now. He's the best.
Do you think you want to pursue that too? Because I can see the way you could kind of homogenize all these ideas together. Yeah.
It's something that is, like, in the making. Like, I'm not working on it specifically at this exact moment in my life, but it's like I'm trying to kind of make the way, like, trying to pave the road to where I can kind of dedicate some time to that, to, like, getting that, like, going somewhere and learning and actually getting like a certificate, or I don't even know what it is.
Well, experience is the best teacher,
instructor certificate. I don't know. I need a mentor. I need a yoga mentor. If anybody's out there listening, I need a yoga mentor.
Well, if you need a space.
Thank you.
Yeah, because this space, I've been thinking, like, we should do some, like, yoga stuff or, like, workout stuff in here.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Get the pads and you bring it in there. We'll definitely make it happen.
Mm-hmm. It'd be very cool. We could have, like, tea.
You could drink tea during yoga?
Like, herbal tea. You could have it after a yoga session. You could, like, drink some tea. Leave here.
I never have done yoga.
Yeah.
I've never done yoga.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be great, they said. But it really is great. They started even doing yoga in the NFL and, like, in sports, like, for sports teams, because it kind of, like, strengthens your muscles in a way that regular exercise doesn't. It makes you use those unused parts of your muscles, which helps prevent injury, because then you have stronger bone tissue, muscle connection. You have a better connection with your mind and your body when you do yoga, because you're moving your body in ways you never have before, and you're kind of telling your mind is telling your body, I can do this, even though it's uncomfortable. Once you get into more, like, intermediate, like, not beginner yoga, yes, it's like stretching and kind of feel like kind of tight, but once you get into more advanced yoga, it's mental. You're telling your body, like, I can do this.
What did you say? You wanted to go to school for this, you said? You sound like you could write a book about it.
I've read books about it. I know a lot about it. Yeah. But yeah, I would want to have, like, a license or whatever. You want
to sharpen your sword with school.
Yeah.
Right? Learn the jargon and all that.
But the breathing meditation, right? It's great. It's great for people, for everyone. Everyone should do it. Every human being. Like, it's not just people who are high stress. Even if you think you don't have stress, you should do deep breathing for the physical benefits, for your heart, for your lungs, like, for your body.
Let's try it. You guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
How should I sit? It doesn't matter?
So you want to sit, like, in a comfortable position where you don't feel tension. But you also want to allow your chest to be open.
Oh, damn. I'm very laid back, so this is going to be hard. Let me see.
Yeah, I know. You still haven't broken the chair. And
yeah, I know. I think this is my comfortable place, so.
As long as you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And then you want to close your eyes and you want to notice your breath. And just start by breathing deeper as you inhale. And kind of carrying that breath down into your belly. And then exhaling deeply. For as long as you can. Feel yourself like emptying your breath. And then inhale again. Through your nose. And feel your breath as it goes down into your belly and expands as you exhale. So as you're inhaling, you want to tighten your abdomen. And as you're exhaling, you're releasing your abdomen.
This is dope.
And as you're doing it, you can also talk to yourself. You can kind of like, let's say that you're struggling with clearing your mind as you meditate. You can tell yourself like the opposite of whatever you're hearing, or you can say like, you can also accept it, right? So let's say that day or in that exact moment, you're like disputing with someone and you stop and you start taking deep breaths. And you can say something as simple as like, I know. This is very frustrating. But it's okay. It'll all be well. Or let's say you want to feel more confident that day and you have something that's going on later. You want to say to yourself, like, I can do anything I put my mind to. Everything is working in my favor. I trust the timing of my life. And you just breathe deeply. And don't forget to tighten your core as you inhale and feel your breath. And then exhale as deeply as you can. One thing that's like very helpful for people who maybe are like, they feel lonely, you can hug yourself and you can, as you breathe deeply, you can say, I'm here. I'm here for you and I'll never leave you. And you're telling yourself that as you hold yourself. Some people like to use meditation to like reflect, and they can ask themselves like, what do I want? And you can breathe deeply and say, what do I want? So you can use it for like different things. And then when you're ready, you use the last moments of your meditation to clear your mind. And then you can slowly open your eyes.
That was euphoric.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm glad that you felt it.
Yeah.
You know? You were able to.
I hugged myself so fast. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. The hugging.
Amazing.
The self-hugging was actually taught to me by a Colombian therapist.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate that my sister, my stepsister, she recommended this Colombian therapist. I mean, she was like, inner child healing. She's like, adult healing, whatever you need, this therapist, she's amazing. Like, she will go deep in. It's very hard. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you feel horrible. But I promise you're going to feel great afterwards. I was like, you know what? What can I lose? Like, what can I lose? So I did it. And she would do that. Like, she would hear me out. I would tell her, like, listen, like, I'm at this point in my life. Like, I want to feel like this, and this, but I feel like these things are in the way, or this is what I'm struggling with. Like, what can I do, or whatever. She's like, this isn't about what you can do. Like, you need to go back to, like, why did you ever start feeling this way? Like, when was the first time you ever felt lonely? Or when was the first time you ever felt lack of worth? Or when was the first time that you had like heartbreak and you like couldn't trust anymore? Like, those are your wounds that you're replaying and like reliving over and over because you didn't go back and heal the right way that first initial time. So that was a lot. Like, you know, she gave me so much knowledge, you know, but at the end of every therapy session, what she would do is she would have me like meditate and breathe and sit comfortably. And she would choose what I would say. And it would be things like, you know, like, I love you and I'll never leave you. And like, I needed that, you know, or like keep asking me for what you want. And the more that you ask, the more I can give you what you need. Like, ask me what you need and I will give it to you. And it's like, that was so empowering because it was like, I put the power back in my hands of like, what do I need and how can I give it to myself? So it was just life-changing. It was in Spanish, and
I was going to ask
the payment method was like foreign exchange. Like, my stepsister handled all that. Like, she only speaks Spanish, and like, I've kind of had this conversation with a few people that were very interested, but they're like, they're not going to do it. Like, there's too many hoops through it, you know? But then I started realizing that there are people who do it here, like in the US. Like, there are therapists and like specialists who teach this, like, this healing, like this inner child healing, like take you back to the original root, you know, and it gives you like those fundamental loving and nurturing values that you needed. Like, you give it to yourself, like you reparent yourself. And it was very helpful. It's made me come a long way from like kind of just maybe even feeling resentment I didn't know I had, or having like preconceived notions about how life is, or like things like that. So even now that I'm not seeing her, I try to think like, what would she make me say to myself right now? Like, what would I say to myself? If I could say something that would make me feel better, like what would it be? And I try to just repeat that back to myself until I find myself feeling better. Because life isn't like always perfect. Like, let's be honest. There's challenges. And so the more stronger you become, or like not even stronger, I would say, I think the more tools that you have, like in your like mental health toolbox, like self-care toolbox, whatever you want to call it, like the more tools you have, then the more you can like fight back, you know, the more you can not even fight back, right? You can kind of like embrace what's happening in life and kind of hold yourself through it versus like spilling it over or letting it like really just take you off course, which can happen. And it's okay if it does. Like, some things are meant to take you off course. Like, some things are meant for you to like, you know, like you grow up, you're like, I want to be an astronaut or whatever, but maybe you're meant to be a preacher, or like you're like, I want to be a doctor, but maybe you're meant to be a veterinarian, or like, and you end up being those things, and then people tell you you're so great at it, and like you realize like, wow, you know, like my family wanted me to be this, but I'm glad I listened to myself, or I'm glad life, you know, I wanted to go to the army when I was like, I wanted to enlist and like be out to like the Navy or the Army or the Marines or whatever. And I had a broken ankle. I couldn't do that, you know, but maybe I wasn't meant to do that. And I had to be okay with that. Like life kind of whispers to us, like it kind of moves us in the direction we're meant to go. And like when we stop resisting it and we can encourage ourselves through it, it kind of makes it more meaningful because you're embracing the lessons that God or life or the universe, whatever you believe in, is giving you versus like hating it and being like, oh, I hate that this is happening to me. More like, how can I love myself through it and enjoy it, make the best of it? How can I be better? How can I help someone else? Like, I think those things make people happy when they think like, how can this help me more than hurt me? Because that's what I need. I need to feel better about this. Like, this is what we need, right? So the tools are there. We just have to like look for them, express an interest in them, and then people will show up that know a little bit more than you know, and then you go and you do your research and you learn a little bit more than what they showed you. And then somehow you're finding more out, you're learning more because you're on that path. Your vibration is matching to that.
You could help so many people. You got to do it.
Like in what sense? Like, what do you think?
In what sense would you not
like
be able to help people?
Tools?
And what wouldn't you be able to help?
Yeah.
This is helping me. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking like, man, I hugged myself and that felt good, bro.
Yeah. Feels good, right?
You could help. And then you have the voice for it already. Like, you got to do this.
That's so cool because
I did not expect this when you walked in here today. I didn't expect none of this.
Wow. What'd you expect, Marvin?
I don't know. Not this, though. Kidding. Not this. I didn't know it was going to get this deep. That's dope.
You know, and I told myself, like, don't get too deep. And then I said, nah, I'm going to just be myself. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Drop a flex bomb. Nah, fuck it. Do it. Do it. No, be yourself. This was really cool. I think this is one of the best interviews I've ever done.
Wow.
And not because of me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I played no part in it.
Well, thank you for like the interest in just talking to me because if you had an interest in talking to me and now you feel that it's going to help people, then you did the right thing. We did the right thing today.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So are you. Proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Path. Thank you.
You come a long way. We both have. Yeah. And it's cool to see somebody you knew as a kid turn into an awesome person. Like, damn. She turned out awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Cool. Feelings mutual. It's so cool. It's like when you look around, so many of us, like, we're all doing really cool things.
Yeah.
We're all very much ourselves, which is the coolest thing we could do.
Yeah.
The coolest thing we could be is ourselves, not a watered down version, not what someone else wants us to be. Is like, there's so many creative people, I think, in our generation. And it's just so cool to see that no one let it die. Like, everybody kind of kept it alive. And it's just really just, even just trying things out. Like, experimenting with different things. Like, it's so cool to see.
The Great Resignation and the lockdown at the beginning of the pandemic gave us the time. Like, all right, if you want to do something that bad, you better do that shit now.
Yeah, it kind of like put the fire.
Yeah.
Like,
you have nothing but time now. All that time you said you didn't have to fulfill whatever dream you wanted to fulfill, you got it now. So what are you doing? You know, and for sure, if you didn't do it then, I don't know if you were meant for it or if you could do it now. I mean, you always could follow your dreams, but I hope everyone that had a talent or a dream that they wanted to fulfill took advantage of that time.
There's like, what do they call it? Like, there's like shifts in society. And every like 10 or 11 years, the way that society functions, thinks, and feels changes. And, you know, we are yet to find out what our final label is going to be, like what they call us. I think right now they call us We're not the baby boomers. We're
what the millennials?
Yeah, there's something that they call us, but it's a little demeaning. Like they kind of say that like this generation is lazy and they want to be so like
entitled.
Yeah, they're entitled and they want things to be easy, and they're like, oh, I want to be an artist, and they think that that's like not cool, or you know, like it's like we broke the stigma towards being yourself.
Yeah,
which is something our parents unfortunately couldn't do, and their parents couldn't do. It was very much like work, bust your ass, like be very miserable, retire, be very poor, and like struggle, and like don't talk about your mental health, don't talk about your problems, don't express yourself. If you like to sing, you better do that shit in the shower, because ain't nobody trying to hear that you want to be a jazz singer. Like, you know, it was like not so easy to find support as a creative or as a voice or as a philosopher or whatever you wanted to be. If you weren't wanting to be a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, whatever, it wasn't easy to find that support. But we created that where like everyone can be a star in their world, and you shouldn't hate on that. Like if somebody is mad that you're confident or that you believe in yourself, regardless of like your level of talent, right? Because we all know that it takes at least 10 years to become good at something. To be truly good and remarkable at it, you have to do it for 10 years repeatedly. If you're not doing it repeatedly, it's going to take you longer than that. So the fact that you believe in yourself enough to do something, whether you can do it all the time, 1/4 of the time, here and there, but that you love yourself enough to do what you like and be who you are, like we created that. Our generation created that.
Amen. Yeah, we kick ass. Yeah. Shout out to us. For real.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Is there anything else you want to cover? Because I feel like we got so many highlights and gems and beautiful moments in this recording.
Oh, well.
Why'd you start a business and what does it do? Okay,
so I started the business because I wanted something that I liked, that I was tired of like going shopping around for and feeling like I wasn't getting the value, or like I didn't know if it was made with the right type of like intention or energy or whatever. So like a friend of mine gifted me like some crystals years ago and was like, here, like this will help you, like put it under your pillow or whatever. Like these rocks do different things. And I was like, what? Like,
okay.
I was like, this is a first for me. Like I thought I would heard it all, but this is new. Like put these rocks under your pillow, like, you know, and I was like, what? So I looked it up. And I was like, all these different websites, all these different things. And I was like, yeah, like people in Egypt believe in this. Like it's mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned in Africa. They believe in this. Like, all around the world, in Brazil, everywhere, right? All around the world. But here in America at that time, it must have been like 2017 or 2016 when I learned about crystals. It was kind of still stigmatized. Like people would be like, they would think that like you're like, I don't know, they'd label you as like a hippie or a witch or like, I don't know, like all types of things. So I read about it and I was like, you know what, this sounds really cool. Like if people were using this during like ancient civilization and they were like supposedly like the first people here and they knew that these rocks had power and they helped them, then this has to be true, because we all know that like the government does not want us to know like how to empower ourselves naturally. Like they want us to use pills and like medication and, you know, screw ourselves up. But I was like, this is cool. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll put it under my pillow, whatever. But as the days passed, I felt like, wow, I do feel calmer. Like I do like feel like I'm getting like some type of like divine wisdom, or like I do feel like things are, I just felt different. I felt different. So I looked more into it, like what does each rock do and whatever. And sometimes I'd go to work and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to bring the rose quartz with me. I'm going to like put it in my pocket. Or I wouldn't have pockets, and I'd be like, I'm going to put it in my bra, or I'm going to, like, put it, like, somewhere, and I'd lose it or whatever. And I'm like, why don't they make, like, bracelets? And then I found out they do make bracelets. So I'd go and I'd, like, buy them, but the energy in the store would be, like, weird or creepy, or, like, I'd go in the store and I'd be like, oh, hi, like, whatever, and the person is just, like, you know, they're just, like, and they're looking at you, and you're looking at them, and you're like,
the vibes wasn't right.
You give them a bracelet, and then they charge you, and you're like, oh, thank you, and they're like, and you're like, okay. So I wanted to do something that I felt like now that years later in 2021, when I understood what energy was and that it transfers to objects and everything, that I wanted to do something that was positive, and I wanted to share that when I would do my poetry. Like, I wanted to sell crystal bracelets when I would go do poems for anybody that wanted to heal or wanted to, like, shift their energy and, like, feel different. And that's pretty much it. I put jewelry in there too, because I like jewelry, accessories, and I wanted something, like, I was like, everybody doesn't know what crystals are or whatever. Like, now everybody does, because celebrities started promoting them more. They started businesses. Fun fact, like, during COVID, like, the sale of diamonds went down. It went down by like 70%. And the sale of crystals and gems, it went up by like 30%. So they noticed the trend, like, oh, more people, because they're healing, because they have lost, they have grief, they have stress and all this stuff. They're looking for natural ways to heal, and they're learning about crystals and their energy. And so it was great that I found that out, right? Because I'm like, I guess I'm, like, doing this at the right time or whatever. It was just a coincidence, though. Like, I found this out afterwards when I was taking, like, a business class to kind of help me. And so that was pretty much it. I was like, let me do jewelry and the crystals so that I have a little bit. Huh?
You have any on you right now?
I have a bracelet on me right now.
Yeah, let's show it. You got the camera on here?
So this is sea moss agate and tiger's eye. And sea moss agate is, like, known for emotional healing and, like, healing old wounds and kind of like strengthening the person who wears it so that they can feel more comfortable with their emotions. And then tiger's eye is like a protection stone. The ancient Egyptians are known for this. They used to put it on, like, their shield when they would go to war, and it was supposed to be like a protective force that also helped them better see what their next step should be. So this is, like, what I do. I make them by hand. And people have told me that they've helped them, which is great. That's what it's for.
Yeah, bingo.
You look like you have some yourself. You're up on it.
I am recently getting into, like, Viking jazz. Like
Viking jazz.
Like anything that like Thor probably wears to sleep, I want to wear awake.
Okay.
For no reason though. There's no like.
Do you have, like, a theme for your accessories?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. But what you got is, like, way more spiritual and powerful than what I'm doing. I want to look good on camera. I don't stack up to you over here.
No, I've noticed that I've seen that a lot of men lately have more accessories, bracelets and stuff like that. And they'll be wearing crystal bracelets. And I'm like,
I don't know anything about it. You know what this stuff is? I don't know nothing about it.
Well, I don't know. Because it could be, it could not be. Like, it looks like your one bracelet has tiger's eye, like those brown beads on that other one. Yeah.
The tiger's eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I see it?
Yeah, of course you could.
All right, cool.
And then I got a Swatch watch, which doesn't work, but I bought this when I was 21.
Yeah. So these are tiger's eye.
Okay.
Yeah, so these help with discipline, courage, and they protect against negative energy. And then this could be a matte onyx, but I wouldn't know, because it could be a matte anything else. Black tourmaline, it could be matte obsidian, it could be anything when it's mattified like that, so I wouldn't know.
I dig
But
it.
it'll be one of those.
Tiger's eye.
This one, I think these are like accessory beads. I think these are just like accessory beads with an evil eye symbol.
Evil
which is
eye?
cool.
Oh, I thought it's not bad.
No, it's supposed to, well, what the Egyptians believe is that symbol is supposed to protect you against evil eye.
Yeah, it probably has been this whole time. And I'm not even giving it credit.
You're not giving it credit.
No, now I will.
You'd be like, you just walk into the room like
Like
this.
a Power Ranger, like stay out my aura, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up with Marvin's energy lately? He seems so like just more outgoing. He just seems more like giddied up. I don't know. It's like something's going on.
For me, it was losing weight for sure. Losing weight just made me feel better overall.
Yeah.
Cause
more energy.
I was a skinny little kid. I was smaller than Anton over there. And, doing the business, I let my health and my appearance go big time. I stopped caring about it because I just want the business to do good. I don't care about how I feel. Because even when you were there, I was like, yo, Marv, she probably looks in like, hey, Marv's not like nothing like how she remembers. Like, because I was more quiet. And
I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was just like, Marvin just opened his business. Like, good for freaking him. He must be working so hard.
Yeah,
because there's so much involved.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I let go of worrying about myself.
Right.
So this year, finally, like I felt like the business is doing so good that I could take a vacation. I could breathe again, and I finally started going out again. I started being in the public and talking to people. And that's pretty much it.
I can relate. Like starting a business is more work than you anticipate. Like you already tell yourself, like, okay, I'm a hard worker. I can start a business. Like I can do this. I can do that. Whatever. But then when you're in it and you're doing it, it's a lot. And then you realize you need help. And then you need to trust the help. And then you need to know, you need not just any help, someone that knows what they're doing. And then like, it's very easy to lose sight of taking care of yourself because you do put your business first. Bingo. So it's great that you're in a place now that you could take care of yourself and that it didn't go too far.
Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like losing weight, I think helps a lot.
Yeah. Mancha's kicking ass over there too.
Yeah.
I think Steve didn't recognize you the other day walking through the hallway. He was like, "Oh, Mach?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And I think I complimented him the other day when I saw him on Instagram too. Before we even talked, I was like, "Yo, Mach, you looking great, bro." Because going through the same process, I know how it feels. Like you feel good. It feels good. It feels good, right, bro? It feels good.
It's the effort.
Yeah. It took a lot.
What'd you do to like?
I started making my own food. I started cooking myself, and I started taking walks in the morning. And that was it.
The own food.
I don't go to the gym. I don't lift weights.
The making your own food part is a big step.
Yeah.
Do you think that before you started making your own food, you were like had like a scattered eating schedule or what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's tough, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah.
I hear that the more often you do it, the quicker you get at it. I'm still trying to get there.
Of cooking?
Yeah, like you start cooking quicker, like whipping shit up faster.
I do. I cook way faster now, but I'm still scared to cook for other people because I'm like, it tastes good to me. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to have that argument. Like,
yeah, it's like sorry that you're hungry and this food sucks.
Yeah,
I thought it was good, but
facts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna attempt it on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna make wings and whatever. You remember Dave? We were at his house, and last year they had a friend's Christmas thing or whatever. And I bought lemon pepper wings, like my first time making wings, and I bought it over there, and nobody ate it. I was like, damn.
Oh.
I was like, damn.
I thought you were gonna say it was a hit.
No.
Was it the
I think there was other better food to go to before the wings.
Some tough competition.
Yeah.
If anybody's Dominican, anything is making food, like it's tough.
Yeah, word.
To put some lemon pepper wings, like they got pernil.
True. Just too much competition. Just too much. Wings ain't at a Thanksgiving
wings kind
table.
of isn't a Thanksgiving food either. Like
wings is not a Thanksgiving food.
lemon pepper wings.
Not like lemon pepper
Like
wings.
it don't go with the arroz con gandules.
You're right. You
Like,
gotta put the fork down to eat it. I get it. I'm gonna do different this year then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait for.
If you do like wings, I would say like maybe barbecue or like.
Yo, you guys are just changing my life. This whole 2 hours.
Because that's like a more common flavor people know.
I just like wings with everything. I think it's just me. I don't know.
Wings are so good.
I could eat wings at a funeral. I could eat wings anywhere. Like anywhere.
It's like a comfort food.
It is. Like definitely. What's your comfort food?
What is in my comfort food? What's my comfort food? Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
I don't know if mashed potatoes is a comfort food though.
It's comfortable.
It's just like a healthy staple. It's a healthy staple.
Yeah.
Like comfort food, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Like,
you see me ordering mac and cheese, huh?
How do you like your mac and cheese? You like bake it?
I like it baked at the top and crispy, but not too hard.
Yeah.
Like don't over crisp it.
Yeah.
Where like I'm fighting with the fork. Like it needs to melt. You know, I don't mind mac and cheese in a skillet with the little breadcrumbs at the top, but it has to be good.
Yeah.
You know? Don't make mac and cheese if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Facts.
This holiday season.
That's why I haven't tried it yet.
Please. Because somebody else could have made it and everyone could have been happy, but you want to volunteer to make I'm just kidding.
Take notes.
Oh, I'm just
Take
kidding.
notes.
Do not put herbs on top of the mac and cheese.
With the chives and stuff?
Yeah, none of that.
Stuff?
Yeah, no chives.
Why not?
No chives. No garlic. None of that. That's weird.
It's weird. I don't like that either. But I've never had like a reason not to like it. I don't think you need it. Like mac and cheese does the job already. Yeah. You don't need extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does it already. It does a lot already with what it has in there.
Yeah. Donuts. Donuts are another comfort food of mine. Yeah.
You said it confidently.
A fresh donut from Route 20 over there.
What's Route 20?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh.
They got the best.
Across the street from Burger King?
Yeah.
The 10th Ave Dunkin' Donuts?
They got the best donuts from anywhere.
She's dropping bombs.
You fact check it.
We're going to fact check it. We're going to fact check that.
You got to fact check it.
How do you fact check
challenge? The Route 20 Donut Challenge.
Okay, we're making it happen.
The Route 20 Dunkin' Donuts Challenge. If you go and the donut is not fresh.
They're so busy in there too. Like, what is it? Like,
that's why. I think they just keep them coming. Like, they probably get 3 deliveries a day.
Yeah, because I think if you're on Route 20, you're coming from, there's so many towns, Fairlawn, Hawthorne, Patterson. They all take Route 20 to go to work in the city or in Newark, probably, all the people in those towns. Mm-hmm. And everyone stops in that Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
That's the busiest Dunkin' Donuts in Patterson, I think. And there's like 5 of them in Patterson.
They all are not as good as that one, though.
I'm going to test your theory. I don't know for sure. I'm going to test your theory. I just don't like going there because of how busy they are.
Like, if you get a bad donut from there, you can just cancel me. That's how much of a challenge I'm going to make it.
You got the camera on me?
You could go there any time of the day, and their donuts are fresh. Any time of the day.
We're going to test that.
Test it.
Lori, talk to me about knowing your legacy.
Oh, very important. I think
it's a nice conversion.
I wanted to bring that up, yeah.
From Dunkin' to legacy.
Your legacy is like such a tough topic because depending on what type of perspective you're coming from, you're going to either think about it in a powerful, enriching way, or you're going to think about it in a judgmental, like, what is my legacy? Oh my God, I never thought about that. And it's like, it's okay if you never thought about what your legacy is, because it's something that's very simple. It's what you leave behind in the minds and hearts of others when you're no longer here. That's what your legacy is. So I think if anyone cares about their legacy, then they care about how they treat others. They care about taking care of themselves so that if something were to happen, they would be able to help others, so that they can help themselves. Like, your legacy is the decisions you make today that are going to affect you 10 years from now. when you have kind of like an idea of the legacy you want to leave, it helps you keep you motivated. Like, it helps you wake up and be like, all right, today I'm going to care about myself. Today I'm going to be nice to people. Today I'm going to research this information because I want that to be part of my legacy. Like, your legacy is a fun place. It's a fun place to be because it gives you hope and meaning at the same exact time. So without those, you can have a very sad life without hope and without meaning. So it's like, what's meaningful to you, and how can you keep that at the forefront of your mind when life is happening? That's legacy.
That's bold.
What do you think legacy is like?
I can relate. I can relate with everything you said, and I definitely agree with all of it, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like what you leave behind. And this is probably going to be my legacy. This is what I want to give to my kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. And also, we don't think about it a lot, but the stuff we put on the internet, even those probably 5-second little comedic things that we probably upload, I hope that there's at some point in time in the future, like our grandkids or our whatever will take the time to look at that stuff. 'Cause it's all there. It's not like with our parents. I can't even imagine when my pops and mom were like.
There'd be some things though I see on the internet. I'd be like, I hope their kids don't look at that stuff.
Oh no, anything from me 20 under 30? Nah, I hope they don't see none of that shit. None of it.
Like, just start a whole new Instagram after 30.
After 30 is when I'm proud of what I put on the internet. Before that, nah, hell no, bro. Whenever Facebook brings me, oh, remember this? You said this 5 years ago? I'm like,
no, I don't want that memory. No, cancel. How do I cancel this?
None of that. But I hope that, yeah, they look back and like, oh, grandpops was cool or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I hope.
Yeah, like that there's a story to tell.
There's a story to tell.
Yeah.
We had a YouTube channel of a podcast, and one of the guys deleted all the videos and said, I don't want that anymore. But he was part of a team. And the other teammate called me and said he was like hella upset. He was almost in tears. Like, yo, he deleted all the videos. And at first I didn't get it. I was like, yeah, but just record new ones. Like, what's the big deal? And he was like, yo, that he actually used that word. He said, that was my legacy. Like, that's what I want my kids to see one day and laugh. Like, look at my father doing this and that on a podcast. Or if I wanted to go work at a radio station, like I could show them like, hey, this is my resume. I did this podcast for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I get it now. I get it. I get why you're that mad about it. Yeah. I totally get it. And yeah, so that made me think like, even those 5-second clips of me probably just walking down the street to 7-Eleven. Hopefully somebody sees it someday. I don't know. What
would you get from 7-Eleven if they were filming a video of you and you knew it was going to be part of your legacy?
Wow. I'd probably walking out of 7-Eleven with vape cartridges and the spicy cashews. Cause I love spicy cashews. That's the only things I buy from there. Or probably like club soda, because I drink liquor with club soda now, which helps with the weight too. I learned that alcohol has way more sugar than you ever could imagine.
Right, and then you mix the chaser in it.
I mix it with club soda to dilute it.
Club soda is like, not using like cranberry or something.
Exactly.
Like the corn syrup.
Exactly. Because somebody told me that, like, you're probably gaining way more from the liquor than from food and stuff.
I didn't even know you were a drinker.
Now the world knows.
What do you like? Like,
I'm a Captain Morgan guy.
Captain Morgan, like spiced or like
spiced rum, yeah.
Like extra spiced or
no, not extra.
Oh, just the regular extra? Spice. I thought they had like a special.
They probably do
one where it's like extra spice.
Just just the logo is just like I feel like that when I drink it, like
a sailor, like a what do they have on there? No, pirate?
I don't feel like a pirate.
Oh, I'm a captain.
I just feel like I'm in charge of the ship. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, like that's it. Like I gotta steer this thing. Got to lead the crew and stuff.
Branding.
It's good branding.
Shout out to Captain Morgan for their branding.
Yeah, word.
They nailed it.
Cereal. You only eat cereal because of the branding, I think.
The cereal? Yeah. I don't eat cereal no more.
I don't eat it either. But as a kid, like, they got Powerpuff Girls cereal. I gotta eat it because I like the show.
Yeah, I liked Frosted Flakes because of the commercial.
That tiger was hella bold.
to be like, they're great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they must be great.
He must have meditated and did on your steps.
Sure, because he was mad happy.
He was
all
hyped.
the time. I'm like, I want to be happy like him.
The leprechaun was stressed out, but the tiger guy was like,
yeah, it was like,
he was hyped.
And so you had a bowl of frosted
little
flakes.
bandana. He was a blood. He was thugging out there. Yeah. Yo, this has been awesome. This is one of the best interviews I've done. Like you made this awesome.
Great, thank you.
You made this awesome. This is not me at all. I'm just sitting here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you rock. And
thank you.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close shop?
Well, if you like the interview, follow me on Instagram, and you'll see more of me. I'm gonna have an event soon. Maybe you could come by and support me, your local poet. And it would be, my new Instagram name is Lorenita La Poeta. That's my new Instagram name.
Is that because of
I
the
want
Colombian,
everybody to know that I'm...
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
I just want everybody to know that I speak Spanish. Because they're always so surprised. So I figured, like, if I make it the Spanish version of my name, then they'll know that I speak Spanish.
Yeah, I dig it.
And they won't be so shocked.
I dig it. When I did see your name, I was like, oh,
that's my name. I changed it from Lori Love to Lorenita La Poeta. Because love I felt like it was a little boxing me in a little. Like, my poetry is not all about love. So,
I like it.
You're going to have to just find out what the poetry is about if I don't put myself in a box of love,
I agree. And I think you could help a lot of people with the things you talked to me about today. I feel like you have a big legacy still ahead of you, because I can't imagine. I picture you in a room already with people, with like young women or even men, like helping them.
Thank you. I definitely picture that too, especially like with the youth.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a certain kind of influence that you can get when you're at a young age that could kind of like strengthen your mind and like influence you in a positive way. When you're older, you're kind of set in your ways and you have to really be open to certain things to receive the message. But when you're younger, you still have a chance, like, to have a different story if you're around the right type of influence. I really believe in that. So hopefully one day.
Hopefully
one day I could visit schools and do like a workshop. That's my next
I think very soon
goal. Do like a workshop.
I'm gonna put it into existence. You're gonna do it. Manifest.
I think if I did like a legacy workshop.
Ooh.
Poetry, legacy, write a poem about your legacy. Anybody out there?
Yeah.
Work in a school district? That would be cool.
Make it happen. Let's make it happen. Yeah. But this has been live from Bravery Studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lorenita La Poeta.
You guys got to come check this place out if you haven't yet. Definitely. Come check it out. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Keep on keeping on.
Peace.
Cut. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Can I hug you?
Yeah.